In the palm of the gentle rolling hills of New Zealand's North Island lies Te Wairoa, which in Māori means long water and is named after the river that runs through the town. Here, visitors can trace a path from the blue jewel of Lake Waikaremoana along the river to the soft sanded shores and surf tides of Whakamahia. Weaving through the pristine views of native New Zealand as you make your way to the quietly progressive town of Wairoa. Sought after by anglers from around the world, Te Wairoa's waters are teeming with aquatic life, from fly fishing in one of the district's many rivers to towing lines through the Wairoa River as it makes its way out to the South Pacific, catching trout, crayfish, marlin or memories along the way. But for the truly adventurous among us who want a taste of life as it used to be, there are an array of hunting cabins scattered about the land, like this one, perched atop game-filled valleys and plateaus. Families can enjoy the tranquility of nature and maybe even find dinner. It can be hard to imagine a better quality of life made any more effortless than in this frontier town. But if it's an evening's worth of excitement that you are after, the recently revitalised Gaiety Theatre, now complete with a new state-of-art sound system, is the perfect place to catch the latest movies or take part in one of the town's many events organised by the flourishing community of creatives that live here. With open mic nights, love it or lump it cookouts and live music shows, there is every opportunity to show your talent or sit back and enjoy the show like a local. Kiri and Winiata are two local musicians that are never far from a guitar.
Hey, I'm Kiri Gilbert and we're at the Saloon, and this is Winiata Puanaki and we're cousins.
Wairoa's more a musical, it's a real musical place with all the families. They're real musical here. You'll notice. So when their kids come through, there's probably no chance that it won't be musical because they're surrounded by it all the time. But there's a lot of musical families in Wairoa. Would have been growing up watching all of them, you know, from a young age, and sort of carries on through the next generations and that.
The whānau means family. Or my brother, because I used to always follow what he did, so if he wore Nikes, I wore Nikes. If he done this, I'll do that. And what keeps us here is home. We were born here, and we just want to help our youth. Everyone really just want to help people do anything. That doesn't have to be music, and be just losing weight and stuff like that. But my head was made strong by the hands of the Almighty. We forward in this generation, triumphantly. Won't you help me sing? these songs of freedom.
Students here are encouraged to explore their creative talents, and some even go on to become masters themselves. All of their talent is cultivated by not only the families that live here, but also by the schools, with the Wairoa College offering classes in traditional wood carving, music and art. Trevor Galvin is one such encourager of the local artists and artisans.
Kia ora, my name is Trevor Galvin and I'm an art teacher at Wairoa College. Been doing just strictly for kairo or Māori carving for the last 4 years. Māori art, we've been doing those for, seems to be centuries here. This is just a drop in the bucket. I've always been interested in wood carving, and when I did my training I was lucky to have a lecturer who's one of our leading artists in New Zealand, leading Māori artists. If people wanted to come through Wairoa and wanted to view Māori artworks other than just carving, then they would need to get in touch with the information centre. Some people just by word of mouth know to come here, or to get in touch with people like Broughton Johnson, other carvers, and they will take them to a marae. So there's a big one by the door there. That boy hand stained his carving. And when I mean hand stained, he poured the stain onto his hand, and instead of using a brush, and rub that into their board. I look upon our carved meeting houses as our art galleries.
Matariki is a celebration of giving thanks to the harvest that has just come, and we celebrate the foods that are grown before that season. The Matariki Festival is the Māori New Year. It's also called the Seven Sisters or the Pleiades or Subaru sign. That's all sort of the cluster of stars that are symbolic of Matariki. It's also an indication of get ready for what's about to happen as well. It's a positive festival that Māori have celebrated recently, and Ngāti Kahungunu is one of the first iwi to celebrate the Matariki Festival. So the band That's Jars It, our Wairoa College boy band, they've performed at two of the Matariki. The song that they did was called Wairoa Tōku Awa. The beginning of the song talks about the tongaporo, and the tongaporo is significant to voices of the sea, voices of the forest. So it was like that was symbolic of the environment calling out to them.
But it's not all play here. One such example of their great Kiwi work ethic is the Baines family out at Makapua Station.
Right, I'm Colin Baines. This is my wife Marg. We bought this place 21 years ago. Pretty rough block. We've been developing to free up a bit of money. We've always shorn our own sheep, so it can be quite expensive to get a shearing gang and rousies in twice a year. So we've been shearing our own sheep. It is a family affair. Yes, yes. Teach them young. Yeah.
Well, it teaches them how to stop and go and get out of the way. Do as they're told. And over the years we've taught young ones, while the kids were learning and they were away at school, they'd bring home mates to shear, to learn to shear. It teaches them a lot of discipline, getting up in the morning and being here on time, on the board, ready to go with all their gear ready, starting on the dot, finishing on the dot, and not just lolling around. When it's time to work, everyone has to be on the job, and it's a real team thing.
That's not the only family-run business here. Te Kapu Apiaries, run by Keith and Joe Pelgrim, use their bees to work with local farmers and keep crops healthy while supplying them and us with fresh local honey. In fact, they believe so strongly in their community, they offer a pay-what-you-take service. After all their work, it's time for a good old-fashioned meal and some live music. So it's over to the saloon, where cutlery is served in mugs, the food is homemade, and the music is homegrown. One of the biggest highlights of the town can be found nestled into the east end of Marine Parade. There you will find an eclectic block by the river, now known as the Gaiety Theatre. It was the vision of one humble man by the name of Jeff Hull, who, with the overwhelming support of the community, managed to construct what is considered by many to be the beating heart of Te Wairoa.
Yeah, the Gaiety was part of, it was a big part of the community when I was a kid. My parents actually had their first date, if you like, in the theatre at a ball. So I guess my association with it has, dates back to then. When I moved back to town, the theatre was just a boarded up wreck, really, and the shops attached to it were as well. And the whole thing really captured my imagination and wouldn't go away, really. I couldn't leave it alone, and I didn't really know anything much about theatres at all, except as a patron. It ran for 9 years. It ran as a non-profit community theatre. When I bought it, it was very hard to fix the theatre itself up, and it was a huge amount of money, while in my terms. And a lot of people in the town helped out financially. A lot of people helped out as volunteer workers, and we put the thing together, and got it going on a fairly small amount of money. After 6 years of being in recess, the local council out behind it. The technology now that's been put into the theatre is fantastic stuff, and the theatre's really been reinvented, and it's a credit to the town, really.
Here you can buy yourself a house mortgage-free for the same price as a deposit on a house in Auckland. Then it's time to eat freshly picked fruit or go offshore fishing, trout fishing, hunting, golfing, swimming, trekking and generally relaxing in the 4,118 square kilometres of Te Wairoa. All in all, Te Wairoa is a welcoming community with one question: where are you?